Okay, so I figured out what the problem was, and the problem was pretty much I was putting the wrong address. So, you know, that was the only problem. So this address, I just pulled it off from Etherscan. This guy is supposed to have a lot of geom. He has like 214.35, which is a lot of geom. And then, yeah, so it actually shows it here, right? And with something like geom, actually, it makes sense to include more decimals because most of the holders they probably don't have that much geom, so their balance might be actually 0.00 and then something. So it actually makes sense to include more than just two decimal points for geom specifically. So let's go back and basically figure out like how much I usually want to put for like show for a geom holder. Let's go back to holders, not the whales. Let's come down and basically take a look at the lower balances, I'm guessing. So let's say by the time we get to like, let's say how much people in the last page have. So they have like this much, right? So if I show someone like this guy, so let's take a look at this guy, copy address, and then paste their address here, right? It'll show their balance to be like 0.005, which is not that much, right? Like I think it makes sense to actually have more balance for geom holders. So let's actually do that. Const digits or shown digits is a lookup of number, and similar to the rest of the coins, I'm gonna pretty much hard code that value. I'm gonna keep that 2. For geom, I think it makes sense to keep 4, and then we'll do it this way, right? And then here, when I do to fixed, I can basically do digits, shown digits, and then coin. So I think that'll hopefully solve the issue. Let's see. Oh, it is of type. It's not equal. There we go. So, all right, awesome. This actually shows way more of their geom, which makes sense. So far, pretty happy with like how this whole thing is pretty much turning out. Now we have to pull out the price of ohm and the price of geom. And price of ohm and stake ohm are basically the same. So how do we do that? That's going to be a tough but interesting problem to solve. Um, and that's going to be pretty interesting. Because for that, we actually need to find a... Um, hmm. One way to do that is to use like a public API to find the, price of that coin. But my favorite part, and like my favorite way of doing it, in fact, is to actually use a um, like a Uniswap pool, and then take a look at the different assets within that pool, take the ratio of them, and then that'll basically give us the price of that asset. So to do that properly, we first need to get the price of Ethereum, and then once we get the price of Ethereum, then we can get the price of um, probably Ethereum with respect to Ohm. And then from there, we can find the price of Ohm itself. Unless there exists a Ohm-Dai, for example, pool. Let's see if it actually exists. I'm not really sure. Sushi Swap, sushi.com. Let's take a look at their analytics and then take a look at their pools. I wonder, oh, they do have an Ohm-Dai pool. This would be pretty cool because we can take a look at this pool and it'll pretty much give us whatever we need. So, so that way I don't even have to take a look at the price of Ohm specifically. All right, awesome. That's it. So let's do. How do you do this? How are we gonna do this? Let's go Etherscan, and then address, and then paste this address. This will probably give us a sushi swap LP. And then if we go to the contract, read contract, we should get the get reserves. This is a pretty cool function that pretty much gets the reserves, like how much I believe Ohm there is, and then how much USDC there is, sorry, or DAI there is, right? So let's say if I already have like a get LP contract function here. Oh, I do. It's called get pair contract. So const Ohm-Dai equals get pair contract, and then over here I'm going to paste in the address of Ohm-Dai. So Ohm_Dai, and then here I'm going to do contract id.ohm_Dai, and then I'm going to take this address, I'm going to come here and paste it here. Cool. And then I can basically do Ohm-Dai. All right, awesome. And then, interesting. So once we have this, we can then get the Ohm-Dai. I wonder if there's a G-Ohm pool on SushiSwap as well. Let's take a look at their analytics again. It might be worth taking a look here. So G-Ohm, Goom, G-Ohm, and FDT. That's a weird pair. I don't really know if that is going to be worth it. How do we get the G-Ohm? So on Avalanche, that's going to be much easier because there's going to be a G-Ohm AVAX pool, and then we can basically like get it from there. Over here, it's going to be a little bit more tough because you pretty much have to figure out what the index of Ohm is currently, and then once you figure that out, you have to multiply it by the price of Ohm, and then that pretty much gives you the value of Ohm that you want. So let's go on Olympus DAO right now. Olympus DAO, Olympus DAO Finance. I think it should give us the price of Ohm and also the. All right, cool. Let me change the Ethereum account. Sorry, the mainnet to Ethereum. Now let's go to the wrapped page. So staked Ohm price is this, current index is this, G-Ohm is this. So I'm guessing if you multiply this by this, it should give you 26,000. So let's try that right now. This multiplied by this, does it actually give us 365? That is pretty close, right? So if there's a way to find out what the current index is, then we pretty much have figured out how to figure out the G-Ohm price. So that's pretty good. Let's go and figure out the staked Olympus's index. So let's go to address book. So we have the staked Ohms address here. Let's just take a look at the contract to see if the contract gives us that information. I think there should be like a variable or something called index that should give us what we need. Let's go to read contract. Oh, there we go, index. And this seems to be a big number. Let's see. Rebases, name, nonces, manager, initializer, index. This is interesting. So we have this index, and if you go on Olympus's first page, you should probably have the index here. So 41.9. Is this 41.92? Yeah, this is 41.92. So I'm guessing it's basically a how many digits is this? 3, 6, 9. So it has 9 decimals, and this is the thing that we're looking for here. All right, cool. So this is going to be a little bit interesting because I don't really know if this index does exist on a function like an ERC20 function. So I might have to use a different API for this contract because it should be a rebasing token, and this is not just like a normal token. So this will, like, just simply reading off index off of this token will probably not work to get the G-Ohm price. So let's for now just get the ohms price. I think that should do it. That should be enough for now. Let's take a look at this. All right, cool. And then let's also do a prices. Prices, set prices. And then let's just return 0 for now. And over here, we can do balances I. Oh, by the way, another thing that I want to do here is I return string here as balances. It makes sense to actually do it as a number. And sorry, and then you default it to 0, 0 the number, not the string. And then when we come down here, I can do balance I to fix 2, and then that'll basically actually show digits, shown digits, and then I can basically put the coin ID here. That should fix things as far as that goes. So the benefit of that is that I can basically just multiply this by prices of that coin, right, or coin ID. And that pretty much takes care of everything. So right now I'm just going to set the prices to, like, all the prices the same thing. Another thing that I want to see is this balance. I just don't want to use it anymore. All right, that's good. So now what do we have to do? Let's get the price. So Ohm-Dai.get reserves const num1 num2 is this await, and then another thing that I'm going to do is console.log num1.div num2, and then this should probably give me some kind of a price. The digits are definitely going to be off, but we at least can kind of figure something out. Invalid contract address or ENS name. Oh, interesting. So Ohm-Dai is this contract ID, Ohm-Dai. So this is definitely correct. And I just got that. Get reserves. So let's go back to the Ohm-Dai contract. I think that should be the place that we should look at. Oh, okay. That's weird. Ether scan address. This. I wonder if I'm calling the wrong function, and that's why. Contract. There we go. Recontract. Let's see. Get reserves. Get reserves. All right. This seems to be correct. That is a little bit annoying. Like, why is this going on? Let's refresh this, maybe. Oh, by the way, I didn't even navigate to this page. We don't even read anything unless I navigate to that page. So let's do it again. We are here, and we have the reserves. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do num2 divided by num1. Maybe that'll give me the price. Yes, it does give me something. And then let's do .toNumber. These two are going to be off by 9 decimal points. And because ohm has less number of digits, this should actually give me, this is definitely USDC over ohm. So if I divide that by 1E9, because one of them has one of them has 9 digits and the other one has 18 digits or decimals, this should give me the price of ohm, which is $631 So if we go on CoinGecko, for example, Olympus, so 631, 627. All right, cool, close enough. That's pretty good. Ooh, yay, it's been going up. I mean, it just crashed, so um, yeah, but that's good. It's a number going up again. Makes us happy. So, where are we now? Okay, so that pretty much gives us the price. And then I guess we need to really get a rebasing contract. So let's do that. So export const get rebasing token contract. And then this is the ABI that I need to pull from the internet, which is the staked Ohm contract. So let's go to code, actually. That's pretty good. And then we can go to contract ABI, copy it to clipboard, and then come here and take a look at the code. And ABI TypeScript rebasing erc20.ts. That's good. And then export const ABI equals this. All right, cool. So that's good. ERC20. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Rebasing ERC20. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's add ABI at the end of it too. Now we go to balance page again. And I'm guessing I basically have to take a look at the ERC contract. There we go. And I do rebasing ERC20 ABI. That's good. Why is this complaining? I'm guessing it's expected 2 arguments but got 1. That's definitely not true. So it probably just is too late to index. That probably is the reason. Because this is definitely important. Yeah, that's true. It was just too late to index. Alright, cool. So now after we have loaded all the balances, we have to figure out the prices. So we just figured out the price. Let me actually have this here, just in case. So const price is this. And then, my computer is just hanging. All right, there we go. I just imported that. Const index is this guy, right? And then the token itself is going to be contract ID.staked Ohm. Let's do rebasing token. Const index is await rebasing token.index. So once we have that, we can basically do prices. And in the same order of our coins, we pretty much need to set the prices here. So it goes Ohm, stake, Ohm, G Ohm. So we'll basically do that this way. Let's go set prices, and then we'll do price multiplied by index, and then price. Oh, by the way, this index, we need to divide it by 1E9. Otherwise, it's just going to give us a really big number for the index. All right, so this should have all the prices and all the balances as well. Let's go back here to see what we're seeing. That is definitely not good. So let's figure out what the problem was. So let's just console.log a whole bunch of values here. Index, and then price, sorry, whoops, there we go, and go back here. So price is correct. Index is correct too. I wonder why I'm not seeing the prices that I want. Oh, because I'm passing the coin ID here. And the coin ID is not necessarily the correct one. So I guess I have to pretty much do I here. And that pretty much does help. It definitely does help. So it appears that this person has $30 worth of Ohm. So one other thing that I'm going to do here is that I'm going to clean this up a little bit to fixed. I'm going to put like maybe one digit. That'll like make it a little bit nicer. Put a $sign here. Make it a little pretty. And then I can put USD here. All right, beautiful. This is looking really good actually. This part of the code, it can definitely be cleaned up a little bit. But it's okay, this is a hackathon. We're just getting these things to work. Let's see what this says. It says, it has missing dependencies. Coins, decimal lookup. Well, if network changes, then coins change too. Decimal lookup does not change. That's just a constant value. And coins is dependent on that. And it's also dependent on Ohm-Dai, because if our network is Ethereum, if our network is not Ethereum, it's Avalanche, then it's not going to be able to get the price from Ohm-Dai. So that's going to be interesting. So I wonder how we're going to get the price in that case. So I believe the best way to fetch the price and like separate the networks is to get it from here. Const price fetcher, which is a lookup of network to a function that returns price. So we'll do network ID dot Ethereum, and then in that case it'll be, I wonder if that is the price. Yeah, we can actually have this be a promise. Promise. There we go. So in that case, we can very simply just move all the code that does deal with Dai. Where's Dai? So we pretty much get it from here, Ohm-Dai. And where do we get Ohm-Dai from? We get it from here. So let's bring this bad boy up here. And then after we have Ohm-Dai, we can do this. We have this. All right, cool. And then we can have also an async function here. So that await works. Now we can return the price. Or alternatively, we can just return this. That works pretty well. And then we can get the const price fetcher, or we can do it this way actually. Const price equals price fetcher, and then how do we pass in the network here? Network, actually global context network, and then await. If we do it this way, I think that'll fix things. One thing is still hard-coded here, and that is the set prices function. And it is actually using the knowledge of our network being Ethereum right now. So if I just switch to AVAX, this code is going to break because we're only going to have one coin. So ideally, I have to like refactor this. But for now, this is pretty good. I mean, you can actually see the coins and their dollar values and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's it. So far, so good. I think we need to add one more bit, and that is basically the total value up here. my total value of the account. Once we do that, that's going to look pretty good. And yeah,